Hang on a second. This impromptu. I'm going to start calling them Divine Nugget videos, which I give much due respect to Divine Maverick, because there's been a few readings that she's done recently where she's talked about someone who feels a lot like me. I know there's several of us, but I know I'm at least one of the collective of Divine Feminines who talk about how we can turn bits of divine wisdom into nuggets, gold nuggets of information that are more easily digestible for others. 7:11 on the clock. And I'm hearing some sirens in the background. It's funny because the song on the radio is a new song called Matching Tattoos by Gene Noble. At least I think it's a new song, but it's very interesting. At first I didn't want to listen to it because it reminded me of my DM and I before separation got we didn't get matching tattoos per se, but they are matching. They're in the same art, but they're slightly different. We decided we wanted to do that because we didn't want to be exactly like all the everybody else who just got like two hearts and things like that. Not to diss on it. It's just the way we wanted to do it, and it actually was tarot art. In fact, the stuff that I got was this, and it's a mixture. Oops. Oh, where's the camera? It's kind of hard to see. I'll have to show it in the light, but it's in the Rider-Waite tarot art, and I got mine as it's like the Ace of Wands is the Ace of Impact, so I mixed it in with kink, and the Ace of Pentacles is the Ace of Ropes, and I wanted to do a mixture of the cups and the swords, but the song in question is about, like, aren't you glad we didn't get matching tattoos, because that, and the guy's saying, like, I wouldn't want that with you. And actually what it made me think about is, I know that the karmic that my DMs with, often that's one of the strings that she'll try to form in terms of a bond with somebody that she's going through a cycle with, and it's been pretty consistent. And so when that song comes up, it just makes me think about that. Is like, they talked about it over a year ago, and as far as I know, they still haven't done it. And I know from the energy of the Pisces moon, the cards that have been coming up for me, and like that other readers are showing, it kind of seems like that energy is like, whoo, like I feel like I dodged a bullet, like I didn't get tattoos, I didn't get married, I didn't get pregnant, or maybe that's in the collective. But I was actually thinking about how, like, there's several things going on all at once. And I was talking to a couple different people over the last couple of days, been getting back to coaching and emails and stuff. And a lot of people are kind of in this energy of, we get focused on the right now stuff. And we look at, like, I don't have enough money right now. I don't have the ingredients I need for my business right now. I don't have my DM right now, or I don't have a partner right now. And we get stuck in that, like, it's kind of the Knight of Pentacles reversed thing, that perfectionism of, if I don't have everything that I need right now to feel like just like a totally powerful, crazy good person who's got everything figured out, then I was going to say we paralyze, kind of true. We procrastinate, and we think about all the stuff that's like right there, right then and there. And in the recent, if you haven't checked it out yet, check out Divine Mavericks. She did a new moon in Pisces video, and it was just beautiful. I absolutely love it. And one of the things that came from it, it was partly something she said, and I just added to it, is like, I joyfully spring forward into divine time. And what that helped me remember was something that I learned early on in this bigger separation phase. I've been through several with my DM. Is that if you look forward to what you want, when you find yourself, like, in a space and time where you're like, you can't see all the cooperative components, maybe you have no communication or no contact, or your money ain't where it's supposed to be, or if it's a business, same thing, maybe you know all the right people but none of them are available, or maybe you know exactly what's going on with your partner or your kids or your family, but you can't do anything about it right now. Like, instead of being stuck in that space, spring forward into divine time, when when you already have what you want, when the conflicts are over and the resolutions have already occurred. When, I mean, if it's a business that you're trying to start, think about fast forwarding to it. Like I've been trying to write a book, and I want it to kind of be, well, I want it to mostly be funny, but I want it to be a coaching sort of book. And I also just want it to be kind of a little piece of me that I put into paper, and that people, that they get something out of it, even if it's just a good laugh. And so like I spend time intentionally thinking about what it will be like to see my book on the Amazon bestsellers list, or to see my book on the being like, advertised for free on the Audible app that I use. And I think about like my DM walking by a store in the mall and seeing a book that I wrote that's the title of one he thought that I should write, and being like, damn it, like I just can't get away. And like having him see that book there, and thinking about me. And like, I mean, I can imagine it two ways. Either we're already in union and he's seeing it and being like, see, that I should not have let that one get away, and I'm certainly not going to now. Whatever I'm doing right now, I'm going to stop and I'm going to catch up and I'm going to get that one. Um, or the other way, the other side, was that one? We're in union? Yeah, if we're in union, it'd be like, look at that. That's my baby right there. I knew she could do it. And I know that he'll be thinking that anyways. He's always, always, always appreciated my writing. And especially since separation, he even got into writing himself. It's really cute and adorable. But like, I think about that stuff. And you can do that if it's relationship stuff too. If you don't know who your twin flame is, or you're not sure if you have one, just picture a relationship with somebody. They don't have to have a face necessarily. Just picture how you would feel. Like, do they tell you good morning? Do they tell you good night? Do they um do they every once in a while burst out in musical songs that or do they speak to you in lyrics? Do they like to play funny games? Do you have a good repertoire and banter with them, like, in 717 on the clock? And props to Twintuitive 717. Um, get into that space. I mean, even if it's something as simple as maybe you want to go on a vacation and you're not sure how you're going to get the money, how you're going to get the time. Maybe you have people that you take care of, or kids. Instead of spending all your time sitting there going, I don't have the time, I don't have the space, or what if this happens, or what if that happens, spring forward into divine time, right? Into that place where everything has somehow come together. You're not even thinking about how it came together at that point. You're in your daydreams, you're using this Piscean energy, and you're just picturing yourself in a time and a space where you're on a beach, and it's beautiful and it's warm, and you got your favorite drink and your favorite meal, and you got good company. If your kids are there, they're having a blast and behaving themselves wonderfully, and you're putting pictures, and say you're putting pictures up on your social media. Like, really get into like the deliciousness of that. Oh, it's so funny. There's so many absurd things I could think to call it. Just allow your imagination to amaze you. And, if it is a twin flame thing too, and then let's say you've got a DM or a DF who has an Agatha Christie novel's worth of karmic stuff to go through, both people and personal lessons, and then ego and arrogance and things like that. Stop focusing so much on the right now. Instead, focus on them smiling at you with that grin that never quits, just that silly grin that they wear even when you're not there, because they're thinking about you, and they're thinking about how much they like to connect with you. And imagine yourself having that on there, and take it even farther forward. Like, if you've had a connection with your twin flame that's been there's been a lot of conflict, a lot of rejection, a lot of hurt back and forth, and like a lot of things like that. Like, imagine that you already achieved resolution, and that it was easy, and that you upheld your boundaries consistently, and they loved you even more for it. Like, rather than what do I got to do, or like, how can I be smaller or bigger, or am I being too tough or not? Like, you're just being you. Imagine that you're just being you. You're having a blast. You're doing what comes naturally to you, and that brings them right back in. And that you're like in, like, you could like go, yes, go to the like the reunion moment. Like, what do they do when they come in? Do they come in and they just like get out of their car and kiss you? Do they text you first and send like a whole bunch of emotions and stuff. It's funny, the song on the radio, Tank Can't Let It Show, and it's 7:20 on time there. Let's say that they're a little bit emotionally constipated or they have throat chakra stuff. Like, how do you imagine that that is healed? Like, not just imagining white light around themselves or yourself, but like, how do they how do they clear it? Like for me, I know for me and with my DM, some of the best ways to clear that is singing, it's talking, it's um, playing music, even just listening to it in the head can be clearing toward the throat chakra, telling the truth, um, like or listening to other people tell the truth, just all that stuff. It can be very clearing and very healing. But like, what does that look like? Do you get a simple small text that says, "Hey, I'm sorry for everything," or do you get like a longer one that says, "You know what? I'm really sorry that I abandoned you and that I rejected you and that I lied to you and I hate that I lied so much and that I convinced myself that it was better to lie to you than to be honest with you about what was going on." And like, maybe they say like, "You know what? You made so many predictions, or you told me to watch out for so many things happening. I didn't listen, and then I got scared that you'd tell me I told you so, and then I got scared and I got anxious because I thought that by the time I was ready to tell you that you wouldn't want to hear it, and I'm just taking this chance right now and I'm just laying it all out on the line." Like, do they kind of go from emotionally constipated to emotional eruption and just tell you everything, or is it small? Do they send you just a small flirtatious text that's like, "Well, hello, stranger, it's been a while, how are you?" Or do they just show you? Do they start, if you got kids, do they start being responsible with them? If they're not, do they send you a thing that some sort of message of some kind that says, "I'm single and free," or, "Hey, I have this vacation time coming up in a couple of weeks and I'd really like to spend it with you." Like, in what ways do you imagine them taking responsibility? And then go to a step further than that. How do you feel when that happens? Like, how would you feel if you got an apology so genuine, so synchronistic, and so obvious that even you could not go, "Is this real?" Like, you're gonna be like, there's no way that they would be able to say that unless they had opened the door to spirit and they were totally in on their intuition and they were sincere in all ways. Like, is that the experience that you want? You feel with that? Would that feel too good to be true and you'd run it off? Do you need them to approach you in smaller ways so that you could be like, "Oh, I don't know if this is real," and you kind of play that game? Or do you just want it like all at once? Do you want them to just ride in on their white horse with a ring and a whole bunch of stuff and like prove to you that they're sorry? Or do you want it a little bit slower? Do you want to enjoy it? Do you want to have time to know that it's real and to kind of savor each little thing and know that they're actually taking time and space to grow and heal and do their shadow work too, so that you don't have to question when they come back in whether or not they're safe, sane, consensual, and awakened? you know? Um, just really dive into it. Like, would you feel elated? Would you feel like euphoric? Would you feel tingles in your chest, or would you feel warmth all over? And would you feel excited, nervous? Like, really get yourself into where you would be with that. And if you have imagination skills and or clairvoyance, then allow it to get visual. If you have a harder time with that, do journal notes about it. I know a lot of you have gotten into journaling, and I definitely recommend it. And if you get into that, like, a lot of times it can become like writing to our twin flames about what our thoughts are in the moment, or making lists of gratitude, or things like that. But you can use that to spring forward into divine time. Like, stop worrying about how or when it's going to happen and start getting yourself into the vibration of it's already here. It's already happened. You already have it. They're already holding your hand and going down the street and saying, "That my girl," or "Damn Skippy, that's my woman right there," and maybe you've already gotten to the point where they've stood up to old friends or family or karmics, or they've changed jobs so that they have more time, or that, like, you're already at the place where the bills are being paid and it's all good. And like, then think about what are you going to do when things are comfortable. I mean, after you go through another sort of honeymoon phase, what are you doing with your life? you know? What are you doing when you already have your twin flame there? Like, do you have tarot business? Do you have a story to tell? Do you have a book you want to write? Do you want to mow lawns? Do you want to crochet tea cozies? You know what? Think about already having it and feeling it. What does that feel like? What does it feel like to have a wonderful business that's uplifting, that connects you with your tribe and your community, that helps people? Like, fill in the blanks, you know? And then just let yourself soar in that. Let yourself soar in that vibration as often as you can. You're not always going to be in an energy where you feel you're able to connect in that, but the more you practice it, the more you get there, and the more you get there and the more consistently you practice that ability to be present and yet also spring forward into divine time, the more often you're going to line up with everything that you're looking for. You're going to feel good. You're not going to be stuck in the icky feelings. You're not going to be worried about when, why, how, or what for. And that's whether it's a business or twin flame or general relationship or health stuff or money stuff, kid stuff, whatever it is. And because you're both present, but you're in the springing forward of divine time, you're generally going to be in a pretty joyful mood because you're going to see those things happening. You're going to see those synchronicities come in. You're going to find money in your shoes. True story, that happened this week. In fact, I found money. I found a check that I forgot somebody sent me in an old top hat. It's a steampunk top hat. It's my magic hat, and I have my tarot cards in it. And I found a freaking check in it that I forgot about. Right? And you're gonna have those things happen. You're gonna see your twin flame's name. You're gonna get the signs. You're gonna have somebody to talk to in the meantime. You're gonna get justice. You're gonna have people validate you and confirm and affirm you and things like that. You're gonna hear the right readings that you need to hear. You're gonna get the money to get the printing press or whatever it is that you want to buy. You're gonna get the right paints and things for the media you want to make. You're going to have the idea for the book. You're going to have whatever you need. If it's a physical thing, you're going to have the what is it, the wrist braces or the hip braces or the right physical therapist or the right doctor or whatever thing it is that you need. You're going to see the right feathers. You're going to see a shape that's so clearly what you needed to see in the sky, in the clouds on the right day, that it'll be there. And when your mind and your entire being, your emotions are more wrapped up in the divinely timed, ripened future thing that it is that you want to bring in, guess what? That's more often when it comes in. And when you get to a place of acceptance that that's exactly how it works, I mean, yes, there are a few other components, but when you get to that place where you're just like, what do you call it? You're just gelling in the vibration of imagining all that you want already being yours. Like, that's what they talk about with manifestation. Like, you already have the apologies, you've already accepted them. You already have the truth, you already know what it is, you've already worked through the processing, you've already done the research and gotten the right people to help float your business. You've already made sure that it's real. You've already double checked the cards and checked with astrologers and sent me an email and you've done all that stuff, and you're already sipping mimosas on the beach with your favorite people, looking at your bank account going, yeah, that's right. And that's easy. Look how easy that feels, right? And that's definitely energy that's helping come in with this Pisces moon. So it's a good time to start practicing this so that when we don't have these lovely Piscean energies to enhance this sort of stuff, we can still practice it. We can still access it. We can still get in touch with old Neptune, Poseidon, and ask for that. Bring me in that beautiful ability to imagine. Imagination is power, and where your energy goes is where everything flows. So if you're putting your energy into feeling good about what you have and having faith and not worrying about when or why or how, you're just imagining it's already there, it's already happened, you already feel freaking fantastic about it. You feel like the chosen one, the divine feminine, the empress, the divine masculine, the emperor, and it's all good and you already have it. That's when it starts to come in. And the more consistently that you have that, that you need nothing because you're totally already there in your head, then it starts to appear in the 3D. And then you want to do it more. Then you get more and more excited. You're like, I found somebody, and look, I found something that reminded me of my DM that was like so really obvious, or somebody had a dream about me that did this, or you start getting all those little magical things that happen that are actually quite normal, but we don't notice them when we get in low vibes and stuff. We just discount them as, it wasn't really a sign, or that wasn't really my thing to do, or I'm not really that equipped to do a business, or maybe they're not really choosing me. Like, we don't see the stuff when we're in the low vibe. You got to get up and what does Abraham call it? The high flying disc. You got to get up there. And when you get up there, you really see everything. You see it from the hawk's eye view. And when you can see things from the hawk's eye view and the eagle's eye view, and you're really seeing things, or even from the crow's eye view. I mean, the crow is a wonderful scavenger, even vulture, too. Like, they're wonderful scavengers. They can see things that we cannot from a great distance, that are buried under other things. They follow their intuition, like, do as the winged beings do. Trust what trust the messages that are coming into you. Trust your heart. You don't always have to flow in logic, because it can seem illogical, 2121, to spend your time being in imagination about what you want and feeling like you already have it, but that kind of belief system is just going to keep you from having everything that you want. And it doesn't hurt anyone to put 5, 10, 15 minutes, 50 minutes into journaling about how already having everything that you want. It doesn't hurt anybody. And if it doesn't work, well, then practice it for a couple weeks. They say that it takes at least 21 days at minimum to take on a new skill. And it can often, it takes repetitious moments of like 20 seconds of retraining your thoughts on a regular basis to be able to get the new thoughts in there. So think about that. Even if you only practice for 30 seconds a day for 30 days, you're going to have a new habit. And then you can decide, what? Did it work for me? Did I see positive progress? Do I want to put more time into that? Then if it did, do it. If it didn't, then you're no worse for the wear, right? And these are simple, easy nuggets. And I think I'm going to leave it there. So thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, seeing faces in my videos. Thank you to those of you who are seeing stuff like that in planets. Also, the song on the radio is All of My Love by Charlie Wilson. Wonderful song. Maybe some of you feel called to listen to it. Anyways, I will probably do a few more videos, though I don't know. There's things going on around here that, it's nicer to spend my time in Piscean land than to overfocus on them, and I'm just going to have faith that Spirit's working them out. So I might come on and do some more videos later, and if I do, I look forward to seeing you.